For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas. A 72-hour humanitarian truce took hold in Gaza today, with Palestinian and Israeli delegations set to meet in Cairo to discuss a permanent ceasefire. As the peace holds, displaced residents have returned to their neighborhoods to see the destruction.
Gaza residents returned to the ruins of their homes on Tuesday following 4 weeks of Israeli shelling. With over 1,800 Gazans killed, 80% civilians, nearly every family has been directly affected. About 10,000 homes have been leveled.
I couldn't recognize it. I was shocked from what I saw. I was imagining everything except the sight I saw. Anyone who was seen in the street was struck. Donkeys, animals, people, anyone.
Even if the current truce succeeds, it will take years for Gaza to recover from this onslaught, and Israel's ongoing blockade will prevent much of the materials needed to rebuild Gaza.
According to a new report released by the UN's Children Fund, UNICEF, the Israeli assault on Gaza has killed more than 408 children. The types of weapons used by Israel have also caused plenty to lose limbs. Some children have lost their entire family before their eyes. The lack of clean water has led to serious disease, which experts expect will cause child deaths to continue rising. In the face of this humanitarian disaster, Venezuelan Foreign Minister Elias Jagua is in Egypt today to coordinate the flow of his country's aid for Palestine. The Venezuelan Foreign Ministry has seen a wave of donations, including medicines, non-perishable foods, and blankets from supportive Venezuelans. Jagua is also looking to secure safe passage for wounded or orphaned Palestinian children to Venezuela, whom his government has offered to take in. The UK has seen strong opposition to Israel's war on Gaza. It has included hundreds of thousands taking to the streets. Today, British Government Minister Saeeda Warsi announced she will resign following what she calls the government's morally indefensible position on Gaza.
Over the last 4 weeks, I have done everything that I can, both at formal meetings and informal meetings, trying to convince my colleagues that our current policy on Gaza is morally indefensible, that it's not in our interests, it's not in British interests, and that it will have consequences for us both internationally and here at home.
Peace talks continue in Colombia in an attempt to end the long-running civil war. As Charles Parkinson reports, some hope previous Colombian success in dismantling right-wing paramilitary groups can be repeated.
During a recent review of Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos' first 4 years in power, Defense Minister Juan Carlos Pinzon spoke about the administration's progress in security. Pinzon highlighted the reduction of armed criminal groups, or BACRIMs as the government calls them, from around 27 8 years ago to just 3 today.
Las BACRIM fueron decapitadas. Habían del orden de 27 hace 8 años. Hoy solamente quedan 3 de esas organizaciones.
But experts suggest the reduction of these organisations only reflects a consolidation of power, with today's dominant groups having enveloped or defeated their rivals.
To say we have gone from 33 to 3 criminal structures is not to say the government is overcoming the challenge. It just demonstrates these criminal groups are strengthening, centralizing, and continue exercising a criminal dominance.
For many analysts, the term BACRIM, an abbreviation of the Spanish for criminal bands, is an attempt by authorities to mask the fact that 8 years after official paramilitary demobilisation, armed drug trafficking groups aligned with rural elites continue to terrorise the country. Yet today's so-called BACRIMs are direct successors of their paramilitary predecessors.
Estas fuerzas lo que han hecho es reorganizarse y ampliarse.
Today they are more urban-based, with a larger portfolio, and are not just linked to drug trafficking, no, illegal mining, contraband gasoline. They are heavily involved in extortion. And really, today, organized crime in Colombia is a formidable force with powerful transnational links as far as Mexico and south of this continent.
Muy grandes con México y hacia el sur del continente.
Among the 3 remaining groups acknowledged by the government today, Los Urabeños are the most powerful, and they are engaged in an aggressive expansion towards total dominance. While authorities may not call them paramilitaries today, Colombia's illegal armed groups represent wider criminal interests and a system of organisation that will be harder to defeat. This is Charles Parkinson for Telesur English in Bogotá, Colombia.
To Argentina now, where late today we learned of good news in one of the cases of thousands of children disappeared under the country's former dictator. The single most important wish came true for one grandmother as she was reunited with her grandson.
Ya le he podido ver. Es hermoso.
I have been able to see him. He is beautiful. He's an artist. He's a good guy. He was looking for me. He looked for me.
Él me buscó. Se cumplió aquello que decíamos las abuelas.
Just as the other grandmothers had said would happen. They said that our grandsons would look for us, just like we were looking for them. He came to Abuelas and was welcomed. He went to the Conadi and he was welcomed and listened to. And today they tell me he is my grandson with a 99.99% accuracy.
Russian President Vladimir Putin today instructed his government to prepare a response to what he called unacceptable sanctions imposed by Moscow by the West following the crisis in Ukraine. The latest and most punishing sanctions against Russia targeted its key oil and arms industries. Russia is now considering whether to strike back by placing a ban on airlines flights over Siberia to Asia. Putin says Russia's measures must be carefully designed to avoid affecting Russian consumers. According to a new UN report, 1,000 people each day are fleeing the conflict zone in eastern Ukraine. As the fighting between separatist rebels and the government intensifies, civilians face a humanitarian crisis. Over 100,000 people have been displaced already from the Luhansk and Donetsk regions. That's according to the UN. Many have taken refuge in simple shelters that will now no longer be suitable when winter sets in. In another attack today on U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan, a U.S. general was killed near Kabul. Up to 14 other fatalities, including U.S. citizens, have been reported.
I can also confirm that among the casualties was an American general officer who was killed. Given that the family notification process is not yet complete, I cannot and will not release any additional information about the general.
UNESCO has certified the ancient Mayan city of Calakmul and its surrounding tropical forests as a World Heritage Site. The site is located in the Campeche state of Mexico. It is the country's first mixed natural and cultural heritage site. The ancient ruins date as far back as 300 BC. Calakmul played an important role in the region's Mayan heritage for more than 12 centuries. We have plenty more on those stories and others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Cody Weddle.